What's up? Looks like I'm live. This is Renergy. My screen should be a little better now. Um, Big shout out, Bro Sanchez. Thank you so much for the shout out on your show, man. I appreciate it. I saw you check my last stream, so it's one of the reasons I'm up here now. Otherwise, I'll be like putting this off or just going half ass. But I wanted to call in your show because I took some notes and shout out to the other people who were checking me here because I haven't really put down anything official or share anything because a lot of these are epiphanies and trying to cycle with the right people here. Uh, but you talk about rainbow and Ezekiel, and in Ezekiel we're talking about time. So I saw Ezekiel sequel. Sequel is in Ezekiel, and I had some epiphanies when you were talking about the layers. and and some of this artwork, you can see the two L's, kind of that hook that breaks down to that cube, how that represents Jesus. You can kind of see the J. And then when you see J, you're dealing with the sound edge. Then you got the symbiosis with the G. So we're dealing with the edge of the ripple. And then I'm going to do a stream when I can pause this and go into the album art and everything. I'm kind of testing out this microphone. And this is more just tagging into kind of like some things I said in my last stream and some things I just heard on Bro Sanchez's show. Um, so you're talking about the Enter the Dragon with the Bruce Lee and Brandon Lee. So one thing I looked up is that Brandon Lee died about a month before Dragon the Bruce Lee story was released. It was released May 7th in 1993. Bruce Lee died a month before Enter the Dragon was released. Brandon Lee died on May 7th, which is 3/7, and Bruce Lee died in 1973. So that's something I just looked up, and I'm like, damn, because I'm seeing these connections, how they just reel in, and it makes me think about vibration and what are the chances of so many things that are just unfathomable happening, like in my life too. I just think about how I've spun in and out of situations and how it's kind of like corresponding vibration. So then we're going into what's real in the past and the present. And I was talking about Ezekiel. And what made me think about Confucius and fusion, we're talking about fusion, we're talking about welding. And I was talking about like the center of the alphabet with the abracadabra. I guess I want to shine a little bit more in that because I'll touch into my last stream. And then I hope to put some stuff down in presentation, and then I'll get sick on the symbolism too when I get into pausing and all that screen share. But these are for like when I was a kid, stuck in playing with words and thesaurus, like 13 years old. I was fascinated with like the word rhythm and how rhythm has no vowels. Torn from beginning to ending, live in the essence, develop the vice. The devil's one hell of a guy, but I bring hell if you try to swell up my mind with irrelevant lies. I crossed that shit out because I probably thought that was whack, but this is like when I was a kid. But anyway, so I paid attention to patterns and stuff, and just seeing like what links up in the words. And it's not like I studied the dictionary, but I just like paid attention to what so I could break down certain things. But when it comes to book smarts of all that, a lot of that has to do like with your memory and what knots up in your memory. Is how I'm kind of processing this. But we're talking about back to what's real. So I'm looking for a marker. I was thinking about the word ladder. And when you look at the double D's, it's capital D. 2 seconds. So it's talking about what's real. It's also talking about realm. So Confucius was like the Moses of Asia. Look him up. They called him Lord Confucius. You also get lair, like lion's den. Okay, we're ladder. So Bro Sanchez was breaking down the layers. Has me think about prayers, but I don't want to drift here. So ladder, we got layer, we got layer. And then the word ladder, you could look at the double D's like a split circle. I just got off work. But like I said, I heard Bro Sanchez. He gave me a shout out, and I'm like, boom. God, I got these sense of sparks from some of the shit he was saying. So if you're watching, big shouts, bro. I'm gonna keep going. So you see the word reel and ladder, and reel is to like reel a fish, like to reel a fish. Like I was getting into that fish hook. So check it, and how that hook is the the edge, the J, the edge of the ripple. So that gets into the red in the red pool, and then it also gets into the rainbow. And the ladder has to do with up and down in the rainbow. I guess is what made me think of that, which also breaks down to the layer, because what's real in the lion's den, and kind of I am like the capital I am looks like lamb lying down with the lion. There's all the symbology, right? So with the M we get Moses, and with the M it's also the 13th letter. So we see Moses with the staff, right? Which is could also be looked at as 13. So in the word staff we see fast, right? So another thing I want to talk about is Jesus, how he was nailed to the cross with 3 nails. And 3 o'clock is also the L sign. If you look at L, that's also 3 o'clock. So we see that as well in that symbology and all over these records with the circle. That can be seen as 3 o'clock. A couple different things. So staff. So Jesus is nailed to the cross with 3 nails. So in 3 nails, we also see snail. So we're dealing with time. Okay, so with this fast and slow, we're talking about the future. You know how they say slow down? Slow down. So down is kind of symbiotic with slow. So when I get into these records too, I'm going to touch on a lot of stuff. Some records I don't have, I could speak on. Like we look at SWV, or if you look at N Vogue, N Vogue is like NV. So we're dealing with these symbols. Um, so we got left eye. So I'm gonna leave that for my next one where I get into the albums and stuff. But notice the patterns with the M and the N, how things emanate, and like the lightning bolts. So we're talking about slow down, which is what I need to do because I got so much shit bouncing in my head. So we go with the abracadabra. I got just enough room. So we're looking at this upside down. If we look at that upside down, we got the word down with the element OP. So we got Moses right here. This is also symbiotic with Miss Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, and Jack and Jill going up the hill, which is the mountain. So like I noticed that like a lot of stuff epiphanies kind of hit me when I'm in the right frequencies and when I'm with the right it's like riding the waves because people bring that out of me, and I notice that I also bring that out of them because like I used to sell cars and on test drives people would tell me all types of shit. Um, and I'm not the type of person to like be all like show and tell and kind of stuff like that. I'm just like I'm more into the realness of this. So when I was looking at Enter the Dragon in this symbology too, you see the two dragons. Okay, that's the wrong one. Hang on. That shit's so fucking deep. Damn. That's why I'm gonna redo this because I like some of these notes are so fucking sick. Okay, I gotta tie this shit in. So talking about the sequels wheel as Ezekiel's wheel. This is going back into the number 7 and G force, and it has to do with reaching our apex. And there's more I want to touch on with this, but I'm gonna get back into that. So when we talk about the ape, we also have the word pay. When we talk about people that are no ape, if you spell like it sounds, you got the word pay, bill, Makes me think of the movie Kill Bill, because nobility is no bill. Makes me think of actors like Gilbert Godfrey, like, well, you're free of God. I don't know. But you think no bill, pay. So we're getting to the apex. Apex is the part of the wave, which is the tip. So we say wave goodbye. Oh shit, lullaby. So in the word lullaby, we got Lucifer, La, A, B. So lullaby. And we also got B. Anyway, so we're at the beginning of A, B, and lullaby. We see the LU. Okay, so I started showing with that word dream. So in dream, you see REM, which REM, we see the word. Actually, we see mem is water, not mer. Could be mirror. Anyway, REM, myrrh, like burning myrrh. I'll have to get back to that one. But we see add. We see Adam and R for vibration. That could also be Mister. Getting into some mystical shit. Uh, damn, son. So now we're getting into my bad. I kind of lost track on that one from my notes. I don't really know what the fuck I was writing. I'll have to get back to that. But this had to do with the 3 syllable thing too, with the lullaby. Also getting into the Z. And when you look at the Z is 1, 2, 3, right? And then we get into the when I say the word scene, scene gets split by the V. And then scene is a 5-letter word. Then you also see the number 5 right here. Oh, hang on. Doing it the right fucking way. Yeah, right here. That's the number 5. So that's also the greater than and less than sign. It's also the center of the M. And then we're dealing with the M and the N. Oh shit. Actually, I don't know. Hang on. Lost train of thought on that one. So with fusion, talk about future. Oh damn, this shit gets deep. Fuck, this shit gets deep. Okay. So when we get into ripple, we're getting into the red pill. So talk about disease and the sleep. There's a lot more notes I have on this shit I want to get back to, but I'm like, oh, I got a lot I want to get into here. But when we talk about Christ. We also got the word search. Makes me think of MC Search. So when we go Adam with REM in the word dream, we also see the word admire. Like, what's your dream? And then getting into deja vu, and deja, we see jade. So deja, we get into jade, and we get into view. VU can also be view. So we got jade view. You can look, and we're talking about the rainbow. How looking for the rainbow from the top, you can't see it. That had me thinking like, okay, UV's at the top, but also when you look at the word rainbow, you scramble that, you got the word. If you flip the B, you got raid now. So if we scramble one flicker of the direction from rainbow, it goes into raid now, like the Oakland Raiders. Shit, I don't know if you could see that screen with that fucking screen. All right. Like I said, these are some warm up rounds, getting some sparks flying, and damn, I wrote some fucking notes down that were fire. When I find those, I'll add it to my presentation. So getting into blue. So magenta is red and blue, but the opposite of magenta is green. So that's where we get into that jade. So that has to do with now with the deja vu. And damn, yeah, I'm on some shit. So that has to do. So blue has to do with illusion, elusive. Uh, the LU at the beginning of the at the ABC's lullaby. So I'm gonna revisit that one. But it's interesting. We look at the word like wizardry, how dry is at the end. And in Matrix, you could see that as you could see the water in Matrix. And then, holy shit. Touch on that one. I got my pictures. So when you look at the word like namaste, it's like bringing together the N and the M. The way of saying namaste is three. So namaste is three syllables. We say it like one. So this is going to get into the three. The one is the three. And then we get into the one and the two. Bam. It gets into the fusion. Still going. It gets into the fusion. So we're talking about the ripple and the red pill. They swallow the red pill. When you look at the positive sign broken, I gotta get a better marker, man. It's a good one. These are warm up rounds. Okay, with the tile it's in. You got the 2 7s. And then you got the 2 C's. You could say current.
two G's. Just do it the other way. You can see it, two G's. See that as a 2 5. You can see that as fives. Um, and the word color we have look split by the Adam's rib. You could, oh no, I'm saying shit, man. Yeah, we do. We got look right here. Then we got R. Which is nine, number nine. Got nowhere to go with this note. Sorry, too many notes all over the place. Getting back into this, it gets into the eye for an eye, tooth for a tooth. So we're getting to the Ezekiel's wheel, and we're doing equal. We're doing with even. So let's get that into Adam and even, which gets into the M and the N, dealing with the heartbeat and the rhythm and because no rhythm has no vowels, and then and vowel has the M flipped upside down as the W. Then we get to syllable. We'll get into windowsill. The sill is a three-letter word. But anyway, as I was getting to the pause, we think about words like composites and depth perception or whatever. It's like pause, and we think positive, but everything's like vibrating. So I've actually came up with some pretty cool things I was fucking around here with. So we get to, there's a lot of codes with the 13, with the JC. We know Jim Cramer's like the Baphomet of the stock market. And with his up and down, and we go LMNOP. Remember I showed that how that was down, upside down. LMNOP, depending on how you write it, right? That's also down. It's also dowel. So if you look at that tool that's used in like Freemasonry, that's a dowel. So the dowel can also be looked at like down. Fuck me, I need to get another bit of marker. So we're dealing with Christ. We're dealing with circuits. So 2, if we arrange the word 2, it equals 4. 2 is also Y. Christ, QRST. That's too complex for this. I'm not going to get into that. So into Scion and noise and Christ and quiet. I got to reflect on some of my notes right here. But when we get into, I'm going to get more into the hijacking the time, hijacking the now, and the owl, and the alphabet, and just kind of riding that frequency, how I read that, and also with the down and the dowel. I see that as from, I don't know if I saw it on Battiston's or Best Buy where they got the stars like this, and then they got one star that's like a different color going this way. I don't remember what I saw, but maybe I was relating that to the clock or something. I was looking at the patterns. And it was like the same thing as something I saw in Egypt with how the rays were. And then how that reflected to these letters from the U, which is like the magnet. Reading that upside down. And so deaf is also fed. I have to revisit that one. I don't know where I was going with that one. So some of these are spontaneous, but when you look at frequencies, it's also frequencies. And we see the queen at the top, so we see free. I was talking about, oh shit, this shit's deep. Talking about the future, how it's also ruled with fear. So the two biggest fears people have are fears of death and fear of losing their freedom. So in free, we also see fear. If you rearrange FEER. So we look at the three. The three is like two C's, and so is the S, binded in different directions. So when I get into the well at the center, right here, into the pond, and the palm, Jesus has the world, the palm of his hands. I'll go into the angles where I'm reading these words I'm saying. So that also has to do with speed. We're talking about snails relating to nails, the three nails, which were 9 inches, supposedly. And then also the staff, which is fast. And then Moses fasted for 40 days. So we know M is the 13th letter, and we see the staff in the M, right? So Moses fasted for 40 days. 1 and 3 equals 4. So we're dealing with that cube. So we got the roof and the floor. We have the 1 that divides the roof and the floor. We scramble the letters. So cube, when we talk about cube, that's also, you can see the word buck, like deer. When we get into, when I'm talking about reed and red, we're dealing with all that presents as the past. So stag, we're dealing with stagnant. So we're dealing with speeds, like speeds of energy. So we're talking about Bacchus. When I was looking up Bacchus, not only do you see the ABC and Bacchus, you also see back, moving back. Which was a Lydian name, which sounds like Delilah. Damn. Originally Dionysus, we see Sion and Zeus. Sion, we see noise. That relates to the lightning bolts. Damn. So this kind of like teaser shit I'm gonna put through on a presentation. But some shit that really hit me was ape, and it has to do with pay, right? And then when I was looking at Adam, right? When you look at ADD, they told me I had as a kid. You know, that's the same flip like ape, right? Make you pay. And then ADD, we also got dad. And also in the word view, we got weave, right? Like reap what you sow. We see ripple effects of past, looking in a mirror while actively brushing teeth or shit. All right, I'm trying to find something. Okay, so we get into the left and the right. I was talking about the Tao. This shit's so fucking deep. I'm so happy I found this little note right here. And I'm so happy I get to put this down because I probably would have lost it. And I get to tie this shit in and go back. So in Dowel, See, I see that upside down, the LMNOP, right? So we're getting it to the left and the right. So we say Powell. I remember skateboarding, there was Powell Peralta, right? So we also see the word Dowell and Powell, right? And if we go from left to right, we get power. Fucking shitty ass pen. Alright, this is like the beginning of my ripple effects. Thank you, Bro Sanchez, for the shout out. I'm working on it. Fucking, I got better markers. So I'm going to be getting into album artwork. I got so many damn sick album artworks, but was blue with the illusions. Lucid. Blue cipher. The blue cipher. Okay, so I wanted to break it down with the power and the Powell. Talking about the well, was talking about the pond, and I was breaking out the matrix with the water, and we were talking about the welding. The welding had to do with the lion's den and the density, and the lion's den has to do with the L and the D, because we see the splits in the D. Like I said, the two capital D's. We're looking at different reflections and shit, like Leonardo da Vinci used to write in mirrors or whatever. I'm using different types of ways of reflecting to see connections, right? So we can see a split circle like that. Fuck, I forgot what I was gonna say, man. About the dream. Oh. I'm gonna watch this. I'll probably restream it. But I was getting into that dowel, breaking it down with a dowel and the power. Okay, with the sevens. And together, two sevens make up 14, which is a 5. So that's where that hook is, where that ripple effect is. And we're the 5-finger beings when you go into like Native American culture. So that could correlate to our 5 senses and maybe our 6th sense. I was talking about the A and the D. I forgot what word I was talking about though. Damn. That'll have to come back to me, man. Would you think of us like batteries, dealing with the left and the right, like positive and negative? We're dealing with cells. So cells also could be like less. And then if you think about the word excel, is to move forward. So somehow these laws of nature, okay, somehow these laws of nature were used on people with magnetism or consciousness, where we're moved like fish, into symbiosis through schools of thought, and people are ruled willingly. So by thinking of themselves as less, so that's where you get into the ape versus the apex. And there's a lot more I want to chime into, but I'm fucking out of steam, man. So we get into the lullaby that brings me into the bullseye. And another thing is, now you lay me down to sleep. Now lay me down to sleep. When you talk about that, I forgot the word I had written down earlier. It'll come to me. But when you look at N center, at the center of the word center, you got like negative and positive. And then you have the word seer, like seer. So seer is two words. I mean, it's like seer. I see, I'm the seer. And it also means to sear, to cut, right? So that was kind of with the Enter the Dragon. Fuck. Pay rent. All right, main purpose of this shit. I'll talk about Johnny 5 is alive. Okay, so we're talking about Christ and circuits. I'm also Christ is crease, getting in with that 7. So Johnny 5 is alive. Talking about the circuits. Gets in centrifugal force. And in centrifugal force, it's really centrific. We should try at the center. So we talk about influence, like fluid. It oh shit. So I'm gonna break this down. I'm gonna get to the sun and the moon and Apollo and how you can look at A, it's pulling the O. It's also the one pulling the 0, the wand pulling the ripple, the wand pulling the ripples. And shit, that's crazy. You think about the word possible, it's plausible. Because when you think about your dreams, it's if you're able to make it happen, if you're able to actuate something, it's like you have it before it's done. It's like you already visualized it. So if it's possible, it's plausible. Like then just like that A pulling the O, it's also like the motion. And you have that 2-9, the 11 between the two O's. You can look at that like that, which is also the pause symbol, which equals 2, which is motion. You can see that in the symbol. It's interesting that looks like the A. So you look at the A is also written like that. The alphabet starts with the A, starts the motion. So lay me down to rest. When you lay down the N, it becomes a Z. Ninja Turtles, whatever came from the ooze, the 2-O, the Z, the ooze. Animals came out of the zoo. Zeus. Is that the S? I don't know. I got to, I'm going to revisit this. But I got a lot of symbology that has to do with dreams and time, and a lot of these old albums because I'm in the middle of moving. So I'll get more into some of these. Next time I'm off the bat. Okay, so I got some other notes I wrote down today too. I was really trying to find, but you know what? I'm gonna build up some kind of suspense for my next thing. So my next presentation, I'm gonna be able to pause this and write some stuff down. But how I broke down M breaks down with the level. Come back, so I'll come back. So when you look at sleep, it's also peels backwards. And when you look at an onion, onion is the same word up and down. And so when you look at A, talk about that A being the movement, A is also one, the wand. And when you talk about appeals, what appeals, we're also getting into that magnetism. And that also has to do with the vibration and interaction. Enter the dragon. I'm going to get into this shit. So again, I'm just throwing down some random shit here. And I wanted to touch in on what Bro Sanchez was talking about, Ezekiel. I got some more stuff in. I was talking about rhythm that's going to relate to the center here with the beat and how vowels represent find a way to piece this together, but it has to do with the line and the curves. And welding, we're talking about wielding the wand. So somebody put wielding, that made me think of welding. As we get into welding, we get into the G. We're going to two different directions. So we're dealing with the past and the present. But the future is always imagination. So it's like we're always surfing these waves continuously. On that note, I'm going to wave goodbye. Just 3 syllables. And talk about the 3 syllables. So namaste is 3 syllables, but you say it as one as namaste. It's like the proper way to say it. So namaste.